Hello once again. Today I will explain to you one chapter from your English textbook, and it is a drama. And the title of the drama is The Bishop's Candlestick, written by Norman McCannell. So, who was Norman McCannell? Norman McCannell was an actor and a dramatist. He was born in 1870 and he died in 1932. And as a playwright, he is known for the play The Bishop's Candlesticks. So, this is a drama, so let's look at the definition of drama. A drama is a work of literature written to be performed on a stage by actors. A drama will consist certain elements including characters, acts, scenes and stage directions. So now when you look at your textbook, you will find some strange characters, strange letters like R, L, LC, RC, and so on. So don't be confused by those. All right, those are just stage directions. Okay, those are just directions where a character is moving towards. So when you find the letters like R, okay, right, RC, right center, okay, just imagine in your mind a stage, okay, just imagine a stage, and when you see R, right, that means you just imagine the character moving towards that direction, okay. If you see LC, that is left center, you just imagine the character moving towards that direction, okay. Now let's look at the character of the drama. There are five characters here. Number one is the bishop. So bishop means senior priest. Okay, a senior priest responsible for charges in an area. Next is the convict. A convict is a person who has been found guilty of a crime. And next is Bursum. Bursum is the little sister of the bishop. Next is Mary. Mary is the uh, helper or the maid, okay, maid of bishop and Bursum. And the next is sergeant of gendarmes. So a sergeant is a police officer ranking below an inspector. All right. So who was the bishop? The bishop was a very noble person, and he was always ready to help anyone in distress. The doors of his house are always open, okay, to those who needed his help. So the title of the drama is The Bishop's Candlesticks. So what is a candlestick? So as you can see in the picture here is a candlestick. A candlestick is a holder made of metal in which candle stands. Alright. So now let us begin the explanation of the chapter. So the play, okay, this drama starts in the kitchen of Bishop, okay, and here they have described the kitchen as a very simple and very humble looking. So on the mantelpiece, okay, mantelpiece uh, is the place above the fireplace, okay. So in the mantelpiece, we can see two very good looking candlesticks, okay, two very beautiful candlesticks, and Bursum, Bursum, the bishop's sister, is laying the cloth on the table, and while Mary, the maid, is stirring some soup, or the maid is making some soup. So Bursum is worried. Okay, Bishop's sister Bursum is worried because her brother has left without telling her, and it was already late. Okay, the time was around 11 o'clock, and because and she asks, okay, and she asks Mary if she know where her brother went, and Mary replied that the bishop had went to visit her ailing mom. Okay. Uh, Mary's mother was sick, so the bishop went to visit Mary's mother. So Bursum got angry, okay, because she thinks everyone is selfish and everyone is taking advantage of Bishop's kindness. Okay, here Bursum being angry is reasonable. Why? Because Bishop was known for helping poor people. Okay, he was known for helping needy people, and he had already sold so many of his furnitures and so many valuable things in the past to help needy people. So Perseum was angry, and Perseum got more angry when she learned that Bishop had sold her silver salt cellar to pay the rent of an old woman. Okay, salt cellar. Here's a picture of a salt cellar. So what is a salt cellar? A salt cellar is a container to shake out salt. Okay, you can find one of these in your kitchen or maybe uh, in a restaurant. So Bishop had sold uh, her sister's salt cellar to pay the rent of an old woman. So Perseus was angry. So now at this moment, the bishop enters the house. Okay, and he asks Mary to leave. Okay, he asks Mary to go back to her home, saying that her mom is feeling much better, but she still needs to take care of. So Bishop told Mary to leave, and Bishop also gave Mary his comforter. So what is a comforter? A comforter is a muffler. Okay, and he gave her the muffler because it was very cold outside that night. Okay, and um, Bersim was observing all of this, and she remarked that it was not even that cold outside, and besides, Mary was very young. Okay, so the cold won't hurt her. That is what Bersim told uh, her brother. Then Bishop replied, "You have not been outside, so you won't know how cold it is outside." Okay, so after this, Mary left the house. All right. Now Bersom is still angry with her brother, but she makes him sit and have the soup. Earlier she was cooking, isn't it? She and Bersom was cooking the soup. So now uh, Bersom served the soup to her brother. So she criticizes her brother. Okay, she criticizes her brother for being too kind to everyone, and warns him that one day he might sell everything in his house to help people who lie to him about your poverty. Okay, she told him that since you sold the silver salt cellar to pay the rent of that old woman, why don't you also sell the candlesticks to pay somebody's rent? Okay, and at this time, the bishop replied that he don't want to sell the candlestick. Okay, because it was given to him by his mother. Okay, it was given to him by his mother on her deathbed, and his mother asked him to keep the candlesticks in remembrance of her. And then he then continued by saying that it wasn't such a bad suggestion. Okay, it wasn't a bad idea to help somebody pay the rent by selling the candlesticks. This is quite funny because actually Persum told him to sell the candlestick out of anger. Okay, she didn't mean it. um, while criticizing her brother, she just sarcastically told her brother to sell the candlesticks to help another other people. But Bishop, being a kind-hearted man, took it as a great idea to help someone. Okay, he even said that it was very kind of her sister to think of that. Okay, now after the discussion, Perseum is still angry but wished her brother good night, and then she went to her room, and it was already late. Okay, it was around 12 midnight, and Bishop also sat down to read some books, and while reading the books, here the convict enters. Okay, now we are moving to the next scene. So the convict enters the house quietly, okay, very secretly or very cautiously, and he grabbed Bishop from behind. He had a very long knife with him. The convict threatens to kill the bishop if he tried to make any sound, and the convict asks for the bishop. Asked the bishop for food. Okay, he said that he is very hungry. He is very hungry, and he has not eaten for 3 days. So Bishop kindly replied that he shall have his food. Okay, he will provide him the food, but he need the key of the kitchen cupboard. Okay, that means his sister Persum had already locked the cupboard, and he needs the key to open the cupboard to feed him. So, as the bishop was slowly standing up to call out his sister for the key, the convict told him to sit down, as he didn't believe him. After convincing the convict, Bishop called out his sister, telling her that a traveler has come to the house and he is very hungry. Bursum came out of her room and was very terrified at the sight of the convict holding a big knife. Okay, and when Bursum asked her brother why the traveler has a knife with him, the bishop jokingly replied that maybe he thought we had sold our knives, so he brought it for us. Okay, that is what he jokingly replied. And Bursum was still terrified, but she gave the key to Bishop, and Bishop told her to go back to bed, okay, or go back to sleep. So upon hearing that conversation, the convict angrily told them not to leave the room. Okay, and after that, Bursum served him some food. She served him some coal by. Okay, she served him some coal by, a bottle of wine, and some bread. Okay, and the convict starts hungrily eating the food, and then he heard something. Okay, all of a sudden, while eating the food, he heard something. He didn't look at the door, and the door was open. Okay, and as he stood up to shut the door, he asked the bishop, why did you leave the windows and door open? Okay, if you leave the door and windows open, anyone can come in. Okay, he asked, and the bishop replied that that is the exact reason why he left the doors open, so that anyone in need could come in, ask for help. Okay, he also said that this is the first time in 30 years that the door has been shut or the door has been closed. Now the convict went back eating his food, and he was drinking wine, isn't it? Earlier, Bersium offered him some wine or pie and bread. So the wine that he was drinking was affecting him a little, and he started talking about himself. Okay, he started opening about his past life. He told Bishop that he had escaped from a prison and started telling him details about how he was arrested. The convict told him that long ago, okay, a long time ago, he was a normal person. Okay, he had a farm, he had a little house, okay, a little cottage, and he was very happy and living a very normal life with his wife. But his wife became sick, and he had no money to buy food, and also he was jobless. Okay, he could not get any work, so he stole to buy food for his sick wife. But unfortunately, he was arrested. Okay, he was arrested by the police, and he was sentenced to 10 years in the prison hulks. Okay, he was sentenced to 10 years in the prison. The same night his wife died. Okay, he was arrested the same night his wife passed away. So what is a prison hulks? Prison hulks is a ship. Okay, it is a ship, but it is also a prison. So in short, it is a prison ship. Okay, and again the convict uh, continued narrating about his life in prison. How he lived or how he was treated in the prison by the police. He said that he was once a very good man, but now he is a beast. Okay, because the way they treated him, the way the police treated him badly in the prison, has turned him into an animal. Okay, he continued that he was beaten very badly, he was tortured mercilessly. Okay, and for 10 years, okay, for straight 10 years he was tortured, and they took away his name and his soul. So in the prison, okay, in the prison ship, the police, okay, the officers has taken away his name also, and he was only given a number. Okay, he was called prisoner number 15,729. Okay, he took away his name. So all of this suffering has turned him into a monster. Okay, and one day he got a chance to escape from the prison, and so he escaped. But he said that being free, okay, being free from the prison was also very hard. Okay, being free was also not easy. It was a burden because he had no money, or no passport, or no food. Okay, so in order to survive, he started stealing again. Okay, now after that, the bishop kindly offered him his couch to rest for the night. Okay, he offered him his sofa to sleep for the night. And when the bishop went to his room to get some coverings. Okay, coverings is a blanket or a sheet. Okay, so when the bishop went to get some coverings for the convict, uh, the convict noticed the candlestick. Okay, he looked around the room and he noticed the candlestick, and he took it down, and he said that it was heavy. Okay, and it could be very expensive. He thought to himself that if he sold these candlesticks, okay, he ought it ought help him to start a new life. Okay, and when he heard the bishop coming back, bishop was returning from his room. So when he heard the bishop coming, he dropped one candlestick on the table. Okay, and when bishop saw that the convict was admiring his candlestick, he told him the story behind the candlestick. Okay, he told him that it was a gift from his mother, and it was all that he had to remind him of his mother. So after that, the bishop wished him good night and left the room. So as soon as the bishop left, the convict picked up the candlesticks and he put it in his coat. Okay, he stored it in his coat and left. And as he was leaving, he slammed the door. Okay, the door behind him slammed hard, making a noise, and which woke up person. Okay, person woke up and he came inside the room to see what the noise was. And as soon as she realized that the candlesticks were gone, she alarmed her brother. Okay, she called her brother. She she wanted to call the police. Okay? She wanted to inform the police about the robbery, but the bishop stopped her from calling the police because he said that the convict just returned from the prison. Okay, he has suffered enough. He has been in uh, prison for so many years, and they have tortured him so badly in the prison. So I don't want to send him back to the prison. Okay, that is what the bishop told his sister. He further blamed himself. Okay, the bishop blamed himself for keeping the candlestick out in the open, and for giving temptation to the convict to steal it. He concluded that the candlesticks were once his. Okay, it was once belonged to him, but now they belong to the convict because he needed it, or he needs it more than him. So when all of this were going on, someone knocked at the door, and a police officer ranking just below an inspector. Okay, so a sergeant and his 3 men. Okay, sergeant was accompanied by 3 men, entered with a convict. Okay, he informed that the convict was caught moving suspiciously, and they found the candlesticks with him. The bishop tells the police officer, okay, to release the man. uh, he told the police officer that the man was his friend. Okay, the convict was his friend, and the bishop himself has given him the candlesticks. At first, the police didn't believe him, but after much convincing, the policeman left. All right. So after witnessing the kindness of the convict had a change of heart. Okay, he was so moved by the kind gesture of bishop that he asked the bishop to place him. So as the bishop was placing him, okay, the convict, he started to cry. Okay, he was once an animal, but now he is slowly turning back into a man. Okay, so as the bishop was placing him, he started to cry, and the bishop offered him to stay the night. Okay, the bishop told him to stay the whole night there, but he declined. The convict declined, saying that he had to leave to Paris that night. Okay, and finally, as he was about to leave, the bishop called him back. Okay, he called him back, and the bishop gave him the candlesticks to him. Okay, and the bishop suggested him that there is a path, or there is a way. Okay, there is a road through the woods at the back of his house which leads to Paris. Okay, and after saying their goodbyes, the bishop closed his door and quietly sank on his knees and bowed his head in prayer. He started praying as soon as the convict left to for Paris. So from this drama, we learn that love and kindness can destroy the feeling of hatred and can make a person good. Okay, just like the bishop, with his generosity, kindness, turned the thief, who was no less than a beast, into a normal and a good person once again. So that is the end of the chapter. I hope you have understood everything. I'll see you in the next chapter. Thank you.